Hi everyone, this is Laura Lee Collet from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 20 years and love it every minute of it. If you've never tried Stampin' Up! As a craft, you need to because it brings people together and smiles to people that receive your cards. Today I'm going to share something with you that I'm really excited about. I just had a new great grandbaby, and when I saw this set come out, I knew I had to have it. And what I'm talking about is the Sweet Old Friends set. And let me see how many of you out there recognize anybody. Raise your hand if you do. Okay, there's Pooh, Piglet, Kanga, Al, Eeyore, Tigger, and Rabbit. Okay, when I was a little girl, we did a lot of Winnie the Pooh books and just loved all of it. And I'm hoping to pass this on to future generations, and I'm going to be doing a baby book for my little great-granddaughter, and it's going to have a lot of this in here. It has some really great sayings. The best kind of days are spent together. Oh, bother. Sometimes when you go looking for happiness, happiness finds you. It never hurts to keep looking up. Old friends are the best friends. You deserve a little treat. Yum. And the one we're going to be using today is I love you until forever and even after that. So, this is a suite, meaning that it has more than the stamp sets and dies. And both of these stamp sets come with the collection, or the suite collection, along with designer series paper that I'm going to show you in a minute. And then it's a cool embossing folder. And it kind of shows the woods where they played. And it's called 100 Acre Woods. And I put that inside so that you could see what it looks like. And it comes out with a nice raised effect on your paper. So let me let you look at the sweet words and labels. Come with these dies, and let's see, you have 18 dies that come with this. Some are etched, I guess that's what you'd call it. Some are stitched. Then we've got other labels here, and even more here. And the one that's missing is the one we're going to be using today. But we've got acorns and leaves, and acorns and leaves here. Now, I didn't get around to cutting these all out so that you could see them, but trust me, there's something you're going to want to use over and over again. Even if you're not interested in the Pooh set, don't tell me, I don't want to hear it if you are. But even if you're not interested in that, these frames can be just used for everything. I'm so glad they're here. Okay, the Sweet Old Friends, which I showed you all the characters. And here they are. The dies go with, and I didn't count the dies here, but they're probably 18, maybe a little more. And it goes with the stamp set. You can cut them out, and then there's some extras that there aren't stamps for. Now, take a look at the designer paper. I'm not doing this using this today, and I'm not sure why, because it is just adorable. And I'm going to show you the front and back. This is a little, what do you call that? Diamond grid paper. And let me tell you, some of the dies will cut this out. Let me see if I can find one here. Okay, here's Tigger. Let's see if he'll go. Nope, that's not it. Well, I hadn't gone through to see which one of these work, but here's one for Kanga. These may work on a different page. Oh well, like I said, I haven't played with this long enough. I've been spoiling my grandbaby and got back in town to loads of stamp sets that I hadn't had time to play with. Here is your 100-acre wood. There's Pooh. And on the back is the map that's very similar to the embossing folder. Then let's see. Oh, these are great. Sometimes we do this with the designer paper, and you can use your frames to cut them out and make a very quick, adorable card. You can add cutouts to it or a sentiment or just do it plain. And on the back is the green stripe. And somebody says, well, I hate to cut out. I said, look, they mess up because that's such a pretty stripe. Well, just cut one of each of these. You've still got these, and if you don't use them, use the stripe there. Here's another one with larger scenes, and again, you can cut it out, put it on front of a card, add a sentiment, and you're done. The paper that goes on the back side of that is this pretty blue. And listen, I didn't mention, but there are tons of colors that are in this set. Now here's another one with Winnie the Pooh. Let's see. I better not do that. I'll let y'all discover it on your own. Okay, the back side of this, the reverse, is a cute pink gingham. And my grandbaby is a girl, so there you go. And I think this is the same one, is it? No, this is a different one. Okay, now let me see. Are there any of these? Okay, there you go. Oops, there's Pooh. Tigger, so this sheet is the one that you can use to cut out the characters. Isn't that cool? You don't have to do any coloring or anything. It's all done for you. Okay. Excuse me. Grab some water. And, pardon me. Let me get my paper out of the way. And let's get back to the cards. I just happened to do 3. And a little different on each one. I used a lighter color marker. We had some nude and skin color markers that came out several years ago, and that's what I used. And I ended up using a pink one on Piglet. Pigs are pink. And then the bear, I don't have a blend, so I used the Golden Glow ink pad, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And here I was just playing around with color. This is pecan pie, and I just didn't like the way that Pooh came out there. And then this is crumb cake, I believe, and it came out grayer than I wanted. So, like I said, I went back to the Golden Glow. Okay, this is a quick and easy card that you're going to love. And There are only 3 pieces to it. I'm using Very Vanilla. I have one that is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. See how that bone folder makes it lay down? Then I have the top layer, which is 4 by 5.25. And then I have the layer that I'm going to cut out that'll have Pooh and Piglet stamped there. Now, instead of using our blocks today, we are going to use our new Stampin' Positioner. Now, anyone that has a Stamparatus or knows of the Stamparatus, we can no longer sell that, so they came out with this, and it is very cool. It has little circles here on each side that go over these pegs, and these are squishy. They have springs in them. And over here, these have springs. So when you put it down, you're going to be doing the whole sheet, the whole plate. And it comes with this little guy. And this goes up here, let's see, and hooks on these big pegs that are right there. And then it's got the springs down here just like the big one did. And I'm going to show you how to use this also. So I purposely did not set this up because I wanted you to see how I do it. Okay, I kind of decided where I wanted the paper on my grid sheet. And we do have special paper that fits these little bitty pegs there that holds the grid paper. And I decided I wanted it right there. So I'm going to use the 2 magnets that come with it, plus, let me move that over a bit, plus some of the old ones that were with the Stamparatus. Just, I don't want it to move at all. So I'm going to take, and I wanted to show you how, if I'm working on things at my desk and I'm going to be using them over and over, I have one of these frames you can get at Hobby Lobby and just stick your photopolymer stamps on here. That keeps you from losing them. And I do the same thing for my dies, and they're on a magnetic sheet. Okay, I knew I wanted the frame, and these are very flexible. So what I do is just kind of drop it so that it keeps the shape, oops, unless I'm wanting it bigger or smaller. Okay, that's there. Well, to save a step, I could go ahead and ink this up, stamp it, and then have to take that off, clean it, and get my Pooh and Piglet characters out. But why not do it all at the same time? So I'm going to put Pooh and Piglet right there in the middle, and my frame is catching on my fingernail. Okay. So I'm going to do them right there. And I think that looks perfect. Now you know this if you have a Stamparatus, but if you're new to Stampin' Positioners, this is how it's done. You put your frame and your image down, then you put those on the pegs. Excuse me. Then you press down and it picks up your stamps. Yeah, we'll put that back down. Now, when you go to ink it, you can lay it down flat. That's another difference. With the Stamparatus, you had a hinge, and you had to put something like a stamp set or an ink pad to hold it to keep from breaking the hinges. And I am using Memento black ink, and I'm just going to take it and go all around, make sure I get my images. Let's see if little Piglet's ears are getting covered. Okay, I think it's good and ready. Now I'm going to bring this back over, do just what I did before, hook those on the little springs there, place it down, and then I use one of these heavy glass lids that's been decorated. A friend of mine gave me this one, but you don't have to have that. Your hands can work just as well. Okay, let's see how it did. Hey, that came out great. Now, if it had not come out good, I would re-ink this, put it back on the post, and stamp it again, and it'll be right there. You won't get a double image or anything like that. Okay. Take that off. Now, I want you to see how I used this little skinny piece. Well, most of our sentiments are longer than this, or wider. So, I'm going to show you how to use it on here. They have an arrow up here, and I'm not sure if that's just showing you the middle or if they suggest you put your stamp in position or there, but your plate there, but you can move it wherever you want it. It just has to be on two of those little plugs there. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put my paper down, make sure that it is, now it's going to be at the bottom, so I'm going to say that this left-handed part is the bottom, and I'm just going to put that on. And if it makes you feel better, you can turn it. Let's see, and I told you we were going to use the saying, I love you forever, and I love you until forever and even after that. All right, I'm going to turn it this way, because if I look at my card, the sentiment was right at the bottom. Now I'm going to place that there. If you can get it to turn loose with your fingers, make sure it's straight. Are you getting my head? I hope not. All right, it's even on both sides, and it's at the bottom, far enough down, so that when I put my frame, it won't cover up the words. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to put my two little pegs here and put that there. Press down. It picks up the stamp. And now all I have to do is ink it and put it right back where I planned on it being. So just ink it up. Okay, those were the two holes I wanted to use. And now I'm just going to press down, make sure it's all inked up well, and there you go, and it's crooked. Okay, I can fix that. Let's turn this over. I'll tell you what, I'm going to get it right there, and I'm going to make sure I have this straight. straight this time. Okay. All right, there we go. Now you don't want to do this on your clean paper because I haven't cleaned the stamp yet. All right. I think that's a little straighter. So let me mark where it's going to go. And that's the great thing about our paper, the cardstock. You can stamp on the other side if you make a mistake and you can't see through it. All right, let's do it again and ink this little guy up. Find the holes I want to use. Press down. Let's see if it's straight. It's still a little crooked, but we're going to go with it. Y'all get the idea, I think, of working with that. Because at first I was going, well, how are you going to do that if it's crossways? You know, you can use it if you got little bitty stamps. Now, this is going to go on the card front. And be sure that you know which is the front. The other day I made a card. Of course, I'm left-handed, so it, goes to show. But I made a card like this, so I'm giving it to one of my left-handed friends. Okay, I am going to add some of our seal, stamp and seal, and put this right there. The next thing I'm going to do is cut this out. Now, there are schools of thought on this. You can color first if you want to, okay? But if you do that, you need to make sure that you have put your die in the exact place where you want it so that it doesn't slip. Because if it slips, you're going to have to do the whole thing over again. So what I told my class the other night was stamp, cut, and then color. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to put Pooh and Piglet right there. I'm going to get my die. And I have this is Post-it tape, but you can probably use removable tape, although I would be careful with that. But there are others out there that you can use. And I'm going to line this up. And I'm going to tape it in both ends, just so it doesn't move around. And then, now this happens to fit the, I call it the baby cut and emboss machine. Let's see if I can get a little more light there. You do the sandwich the same way, only you have just 3 plates. So here's plate 1, and you can tell it's been well loved. Here is plate 2. Now the scarred up one I put on the bottom, and when it gets too bad, then I put the top plate and make it the bottom and get a brand new layer. Okay. Now there is a trick to the mini cut and emboss machine. Let's put our image there. When you go to make your sandwich, the top layer, which is the bottom layer, which is the white one, and the clear top layer are the same. Okay, let me show you what I mean. Okay, can you see that these two are the same? and this middle plate is sticking out towards me. That is so the cogs that roll your project through will catch. Now, we don't have this problem with the larger one, the mama, but for this one, we do need to remember to do that. And if you do that, you have no problems at all. Okay, I'm going to put this little guy over here, and let's see how our cutout turned out. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to take my tape off and stick it back on my magnetic sheet so it doesn't get lost. Y'all, I had a alphabet the other day that it dropped, and some of the I dropped it by accident, and some of the letters flew, and I could not find the letter G. And I actually thought it went up under one of my cabinets and I needed to move it. Do you know, I picked up one of our new stamp pads that is magnetic, and it was stuck right on the edge. So, good for the magnetic cases, or I don't know where it would have been. Okay, let's color our figure here. Okay, I put Little Piglet. These are our Stampin' Blends, and I'm using Old Olive. I'm going to use the light one first, and I'm going to use, we have two ends. There is a bullet point and a brush. So I'm going to, because these are small, I'm going to use the bullet point. And I'm just going to do his little clothes. It doesn't take long to color him in. And then I'm going to go back with the dark one and use the same bullet point and just do a little bit of shading there so it looks like the sun's coming from the left. Then I'm going to use, let me see, I think I'm going to use another one of my nude colors. Let me see if I put them up. I may have. I'm cleaning today. I think it is. Okay, I decided this one was not the color I wanted. This one is that color. I'll hold these up so you can see it. And then the one that I used for Piglet on that one card is really pink. So I have three options. And for this card, I'm going to go with the middle one. So that was this one. Okay. And again, I'm going to use the bullet point because I am, let me get this down a little farther. A little closer for you. I'm coloring in Piglet's little skin. And his arms and legs. And see how this is a very quick image to color in. Then we come to Pooh. Now, as I told you, these are our brand new in colors, and I haven't gotten the blends that go with these yet. So I'm going to show you how to use the ink pad. You're going to use the ink pad, and the first thing you need to do, you want a little, ooh, that's got dirty. You want a little of what we call a puddle down here, and you can see I've done it. And the way I got that was to mash the top and the bottom together. And when I open it, there's my puddle. So if I was watercoloring, I could drop a couple drops of water and use it that way, or you can use our blends. This is called, I'm sorry, our blender pen. And this works great when you're using pencils. And you know how you'll get the little marks? Well, these will smooth out the little marks. I love using these. But I'm going to use it today to pick up the color and just start coloring Pooh in. And you can take broader strokes with this. You can always come back and add more. But I'm cautioning you that I am not using a waterproof black. So don't keep going over and over. And let's see. I'm going to see if I can get him a little darker right here. Add a little more color. And here on his legs. Maybe on his arm. Just to give a little more depth to it. And then you can go in and kind of color out some of those lines if you want. So there you have Pooh. Now, let me show you another tool we have. Oh, before I go, let me show you how to clean these. You just keep kind of rolling it in your fingers and go back and forth until it runs clear. So you can use these with any color. We do have a color lifter, and let me get a scratch piece of paper. Now, this is white, but I'm going to use this, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. If I'm using the bullet end, I'm sorry, that was the bullet end, and now I'm going to use the wide end. The color lifter does just what the name implies. It will pull up some of the color. Okay, can you see how it made it lighter there? And again, I would clean it off the same way. Let's try the bullet end this time. And see what happens. I'm just going to make some little lines there. Okay, and it's starting to pull it up. You can go over it again if you wish. But it definitely makes it a little bit lighter. So it'd be good for shading. And you can get that where the blends are found in our catalog. Okay, so we are ready to finish up this card. And all I'm going to do is put my dimensionals on the back. Okay, these don't look like dimensionals. This is the edge of the paper where the dimensionals are in the middle. Do not throw this away. These work great. And nobody's going to know that they aren't a real dimensional. Some people go cuckoo putting down dimensionals all over, and I personally think it's overkill. So I usually use 4 or 5 unless it's a large piece. And you just pull those off. And there, pull it over just a bit. There we have Pooh. So, I hope, excuse me, that you got some tips off of this. I specifically was doing the Stampin' Positioner for my good friend Diana. She is a customer, friend first, customer and former demonstrator, and she wanted to see what, if there are different ways to use the positioner. So I hope that gave you some ideas about that. And if you have a baby in your life, please, please pass on some of the stuff that we grew up on. But I can see, because most children our age were brought up this way, I'm going to be sending these to more than children. So I hope you've enjoyed today. Please, you can order. I'll put all the details at the bottom. If you want to see how this card is made step by step and what products you need, I also have that in the comments. Okay, so I'm actually doing this on Saturday. I usually do Thursday. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Come back and see me, and if you like it, please like my video. Bye. Love you.